There are two rather categories of tools that needs to be discussed separately in software development. One group of tools which are used individually. Every individual, what are the kinds of tools you will use? That is a separate discussion. Other group of tools which should be used collectively, because software development is a group activity. What are the tools used across these two are separate questions. Let us look at the formula. I think every craftsman will have his own toolkit, personal toolkit. Mechanics spanners and different purposes, different things. Likewise, programmer also should have a toolkit for himself. Personal tool. As a person who is involved in a profession, I should have my own toolkit. The toolkit should involve typically a language which I will use. What is the IDE I will use to do this programming? What will be the compiler I am using? What is the debugger? What is the configuration? Typically, I feel for an individual, this is the toolkit you should have, always. As always, there will be 2 to 3 languages which you know, 2 to 3 compilers, there will be choices. But these are the things you should know. Language, IDE, compiler, debugger, configuration. What is your choice? What tools do you have? Like a doctor carries his kit, medical kit which will have some preliminary tools to do the investigation. Like a mechanic carries his kit. We should also carry our kit, professional tool kit. It should have these tools. What is your choice for these? Every individual will have their own choices. And I feel at the end of the day, the engineering education should help everyone understand and recognize that these are the different tools and you need to make your choices. And this is where we are failing. And we are failing because of one reason. If in engineering education I have to pinpoint one evil, eradicating which 90% of our problem will be solved, which is that one tool which has spoiled, which is the root cause for 90% of the problems we are facing. I keep speaking against that. So there is one tool, 90% of the problems will be solved by removing that tool. That is the biggest challenge for us.
TC.
Turbo C. Turbo C has been this greatest barrier for us to make people understand that there is a vast difference between language, compiler, IDE and debugger configuration. These 5 are different, people are not understanding at all, thanks to TC. TC has combined everything together and gives this unified view that people think programming means using TC. And if they want to switch, the first question they will ask is, what is equivalent of TC? And they will be happy only if your new tool gives you all the facilities in TC. If you want to do any one good thing for the community, stop the dependency of people on using TC. I think if we do this, 90% of our problem will be solved. The art of programming is dying down because people are using TC. Because TC has not upgraded itself, the compiler in TC has not upgraded to the latest standards in C++. And because people are using TC, they do not understand that there is something called as compiler. For a person using TC, compiler is something which will pinpoint the errors in his program. Compiler has become a tool to identify the errors. It is very difficult for people to make them understand that that is not compiler's job, telling you this is the error. Compiler's job is something else. And there is something called as debugger. The person who is using TC, to make it understand is very difficult. that there is something called as a debugger, and that's very important. Leave that. Once you start using TC, the whole idea of using a statistical analyzer tool, there is no scope for that. Can you use a tool like Lint? No. And after that, if you try to introduce Lint, it will never work. So, TC is the root cause not only here, across the globe, not globe I should say. Many I don't have that much exposure, but at least in India, sorry. And most certainly in southern part of India. You say programming, they will come up with TC. Unfortunately, because the first introduction to programming happens through TC, the mind is injured permanently. There is permanent injury to your brain, which we cannot repair later. And people forever will be slaves to tools like this. The importance of tools drastically comes down. Imagine the whole scenario when you teach students for the first time that this is programming and this is how you should compile, this is how you debug it, and this is how you use your analyzer tool, and see what qualitative difference it will make. I feel the FOSS community has this great responsibility to spread the awareness about the harmful effects of using TC. Somehow I myself have been trying to do this for a long time, but I have not met with any success. The main problem here are the teachers. Teachers are not ready to change. I am not blaming the students. Students, if you introduce them with the other way of programming, they will accept it. Problem is the teachers are not ready to switch over from TC. What is the relative advantage of using TC? I am not able to understand till now. And you will understand that all the problems in programming that we are facing today are all because we are using TC. One software, one tool is blocking the next change which would happen in the engineering, not only in engineering, anywhere you go in programming. Because see, the tools that any individual has to use are this. We have excellent tools. Excellent tools. Language choices, compiler choices, debugger choices, configuration tools, that is make and other things. Of course, you have AND. Make and AND are different. AND is XML based. I hope you are exposed to AND configuration. At least make all of you. What is the significant advantage you get by using tools like make? Right? So all this discourse will be lost if we never do that discussion. In the programming course, we just focus on the language syntax. Nobody is doing any good by teaching language syntax. In addition to teaching the syntax of a language, we should discuss about the tools. And once you go and do it in your programming course, I am very sure most of you are not exposed to this kind of things. I am very sure about it. For example, the entire array of programming tools available in FOSS, I am very sure none of you are exposed to that completely. Mainly because that didn't happen at that stage. Now it's high time. This is a problem. All of the time when you have learned 2-3 languages, every time the focus was on how to write hello world program to how to handle strings. That is where it will end. You start by writing hello world program, you end when you learn how to handle strings. The whole idea that programming today should be approached in a very different way, rather than writing everything, as much as possible you should use component, has never come. Why should somebody write bubbles or coding today? I don't understand. What is that we achieve by writing bubbles or coding? What is that we achieve by writing a new search routine? Why should everybody write bubbles or coding? I don't understand the logic behind this. You should know that there is something called as bubble sort which will solve. And you should know there is something called as quick sort which will solve. What is important for me is to know that there is some difference between quicksort and double sort. Quicksort is much better. Why? Because it uses recursion in a peculiar way. Who discovered quicksort by the way? These people will not. See how we have changed the thing. For us, double sort is something maybe probably somebody dropped it from heaven. We fail to understand that there was a need for someone to develop a double sort routine, and quicksort came up because there was a need. Quicksort is developed by C.A.R. Hoare, who is a very big name in algorithms. Thanks to Dijkstra, he learned recursive programming and then thought he will use recursive programming for sorting and came up with quicksort. Still today is the fastest sorting algorithm. Of course, he went on to win ASM Turing Award also. There was a time when you could get your PhD by simply coming up with a new sorting routine in computing. An emperor's gold clothes his title of the speech he made when he received the ASM Turing Award. Excellent speech. There he explained how he came up with quicksort. Unfortunately, what is happening today is people will teach in the class how to write quicksort routine. One example, or for example, towers of Hanoi. Innovative teachers may ask 3 people to stand up, throw something and then do whatever. I am not against that. At one level this is not required. But after that you should make people understand that please don't write all these routines. It's all there. Why did people develop STL? They have developed STL because please boys, please stop writing the same routines again and again. Please take it. Focus on what is the job to be done instead of using all this. That mindset has not come at all. Even students take pride in writing the same routines again and again, and teachers evaluate the students' capability in writing the same repeated stuff. Unless and until we don't change this whole discourse will lose track on programming. We are focusing on the wrong side of programming. We should start discussing on how to solve problems innovatively. Now what we are doing is we are repeating the solutions again and again. I asked this question to someone. Why should everybody write double sort? What is the point? Then they explain it in a very good way. See the argument, what would this mean? In the physics lab, why should everyone do that Newton's ring experiment? In the chemistry lab, why should everybody do those, take that electric plate and do the same experiment? Purple turning to white, that to white. Why? I was speechless. It is known, right? It is science. It is known that if you do that, it will color will change. Or if you set up your equipment correctly, then you will see Newton's ring. It is known. But then why should everybody do it? Then the person explained to me that everybody should do this experiment because they have to verify for themselves. This is science. You are not believing just because somebody said that if you do this, you will get this. Experiment on your own and try to find that this works. For me, this argument is not valid in programming. For me, if double sort works, it works. There is no need for a person to again type the same thing and see whether it works. Because programming is not science. Programming is not science. Science is governed by the rules of nature. 2 plus 2 should be 4. H2 plus 2, O2 is equal to 2 H2O. Correct? Balance equation. My teachers have taught me that. It is nature. And the point in science is you experiment for yourself, you will understand the laws of nature. Correct? But in programming it's not so. Programming is not bound by the laws of nature. It is human imagination. Then I could not answer. Now I have the answer, not now. I did find an answer later. Programming, if you want to compare with something, you have to compare with artistic works. Let's take drawing for example. Drawing. Have you seen these art teachers, especially in the TV, teaching how to draw? What will they do? Draw a circle. Do this, do this. 1, 2, 3 steps. He will get a beautiful drawing. Try yourself. Will you ever reach near to whatever that guy is saying? Follow the same steps. Will you get it? No. Take music. The music teacher will sing. Sa pa sa, he will sing. Hi. Will you? No. Why? Because it's art. Programming should be approached like this, not like science. You can write the bubble sort routine 100 different ways. Each individual can write it in a different way. If you use for loop, I can use while loop. Or somebody may use do while. This is the difference. Therefore, I feel the way we are approaching the programming is wrong. I am repeating. We are somehow confused that we should follow the scientific approach, which does not work. Again, the underlying point which I am making is programming is human activity. In science, there is no place for human sentiments. Even if you are sad, even if you are happy, if you drop the apple, it will go down. The human involvement is not there. It is law of nature, not so in programming. As with art, if a painter is angry, his painting will look angry. Similarly, programming. It's a human activity, you should understand. So the approach is not that. Programming. Well, enough about the play. So, one set of tools where an individual should have some tools using which he will develop is comfortable. But what I am again and again arguing is, tell the students who want to study programming that there are tools. Don't make them dumb by dumping one tool and making them use that. Don't do that. So one set of individual tools everyone should have. On the other hand, we should